Hello everyone, my name is Bilikis. You're welcome to my channel. So this tutorial will be on how to make this Batwing crop top. You can see it's so nice and lovely. You could rock it with your jean, with a high waist skirt, anything at all. And you need about 1 yard of fabric to make this. It's so easy to make, which I will teach you how to do that now. You need an essential measurement. First is to determine where your sleeve will end. It's like a cut together sleeve, where it will end. How do you do that? Just like I taught you in how to make the kimono dress, just place this at your center back and then determine wherever you want it to stop. Like for me, I'll make it 20 inches. Then you need to determine the length from the nape of your neck down to wherever you want it to stop. Like for my friend, it just stops exactly under her bust, but you could make yours lower. That totally depends on you. So right now, let's go back to work table. So now making use of this fabric. So now the length of my top, I want it to be 17. So here on fold I have 17.5. Can you see that? So this is how I folded my fabric. This is a long fabric. Then here is 17. I just folded it over. Can you see that? So I haven't done that, then I will fold it again. So this is what I have. So now I can now work this way. So this will be the neckline. This is the length, and the sleeve stops here. Firstly, I'll just determine the sleeve length. I said I want 20 for my own. 20. I'll mark that here. And I'll come below and mark 20. And I'll cut this off just to make it shorter. Neckline. So for the neckline now, you determine the depth and the width. But I want the back to be higher, but you can decide to use the same neck depth and neck width for both. But I want for the back to be 1 inch, for the front to be 5 inches. So now, first for the width, I'll just make it 4.5. I think 4.5 is okay. You could make it wider by making it 5, but I'll just make the width 4.5. Then for the depth, I'll make it 5. Then you can decide which type of neckline you want. That totally depends on you. So I just want it to be a slight V. To be V and still have the round shape. But if you want a perfect V, just make it this way. But I still want it to be round. Then for the back, I'll just make that 1 inch. See that? This is for the back. So what I'll do now is to cut the back first before cutting the front. So after doing that, you could just notch this place. But with the chalk, I can tell where it is. And I'll just open this up. Make sure you take your time to do that. So the back is done. So now to finish up the front. This is for the back. And this is for the front. We are almost done. Then what we have to do now is to finish up this edge. Then we will have to gather it up to the size of your waist. Like my waist is 36. So let's just put this aside and go over to the band. Now this is what I cut out for the band. I want the band to be 2 inches. So but here I have 2.5 inches. Can you see that? So by the time I take in half an inch, then it will go back to 2 inches. And then for the length, you can decide how wide you want it to be. You can make your waist times 2.5 or 3. That totally depends on you. So for each piece, I have 44 inches because I want it to be so long, because I want to tie a very big bow. So after doing that, this is on fold, this is also on fold. I'll have to join it together because we just want one long piece. So what I'll do now is, this is the right side, this is the right side, then I'll have to sew half an inch. So after sewing half an inch, then I'll have a long strip. Then I just want the band to be a little bit stable. So what I did was I cut out with my waist measurements and interfacing. Can you see this? So I just made it 36. I have 36 for that. Can you see that? So I have 36. So I will just place this from the middle. But first let me join the band and then fuse this to the band. Now this is my belt. I have a very long belt. Can you see that? So looking at it, this was where I joined the two long strips together to make a very long belt. So I joined this, then press it open. After doing that, I added my interfacing. Can you see? This is it. I have a length of 36 inches. So from the middle, I have half of that here, half of that here. This is just to make the area around the waist stable because of the fabric I'm using. After that, then I had to press in half an inch all through my band. So the reason for this is because I'll have to finish this on the right side. This will be joined to the main fabric, then this will now be used to cover up. Then I'll just sew like 1/8 of an inch to it. So can you see I have a long strip. So now back to our main fabric. Remember I said we'll have to gather this up. Remember I said we'll have to gather it up to look like this, and it's exactly your waist measurement, but you want to be able to put it on. So what you will do now is to turn to the back side of the pattern. The next thing now is to measure from the middle. I know the middle because of the fold. So what I will do is to measure in 5 inches inward, depending on how tall you are. But I will extend mine to 7 or even 8. Then I will have to slit it open. I'll just make use of 7. So can you see that? So now I will have to slit this open before I go to fix my neckline. Can you see this? Just the back panel, please. So to make it easier for you when you are folding it in, another method you can use is this, and it will make it even easier for you to tie your knots. This is the back panel. You see this? So with this method, it will be easier for you to cut out. This is the back panel alone, just going by 1 inch. This is 1 inch. You see this? And then connect in a curvy manner. So by the time you are taking in, you just roll in half an inch. It will be easier for you rather than just having a straight slit. Can you see that? Can you see? This is for the back panel. So by the time you are taking it in, it will be very, very easier for you rather than the straight one. So the next thing now is to finish up my neckline with a bias strip. I've made a video on how to cut a bias strip and then finish up your neckline. So I will do that, then take in the sleeve area. So right now, this is what I have. I've sewn the sides. Can you see that? Then the neckline. Can you see that? This is for the back panel. I've taped it in. So can you see the neckline on the wrong side? And I'll show you the back side on the wrong side too. Can you see it? It's so open. So by the time you attach your belt, you'll be able to form a bow and then it will be closed. So the next thing now is to gather the fabrics together. So before we do that, to make it easier, just take this part, this open part, place it right side facing each other. Then you take in like 1 inch. So by the time you want to gather, you do the same for this side. So by the time you want to gather it, it will be easier for you. I've joined the sides. Can you see this? I've joined the other side too. So the next thing now is to start sewing from here all through, then down here before we start gathering the fabrics. The fabric has been gathered and this is what it looks like. Can you see this? So make sure you adjust it so that it will be even. So can you see now? So now my total waist measurement is 36. So but remember, I took away 2 inches when I folded this to remove 1 inch, so I excluded that. So by the time I tie the belt, this place will be a little bit open, so I will have 34 instead of 36. So this is what it looks like. The next thing now is to fix the band. So this is what the band looks like. This is the middle. So what do? Just get the midpoint and start from the midpoint. Then I will sew in half an inch or 1 inch, whatever allowance you left. Can you see the way I placed my band? The right side is facing the table, and this is the right side of my fabric. Then I took this, can you see that? Then I will sew it this way. So you can start from this middle so as to avoid any mistake. Looking at it again, right side of the band facing the wrong side of the fabric. Can you see this? So I'll start from here and sew this all through to the end at the back. Sew this all through to the end at the back. Then the next thing will now be to cover it up with this. Can you see? So by the time I cover it up with this, then all my seam allowance will be inside the band. Can you see this? So what I'll do now is to attach this first all through. Looking at this, this is the fabric and this is the band below. So you just sew in whatever allowance you've left. Can you see that? So make sure you sew above the gathered, your basting stitch. Can you see that? Then you keep adjusting your gathered fabric because you don't want one side to be fuller than the other. You keep adjusting. This is the end of the front panel. You see that? Now keep doing this. Make sure everything matches. And then I'll have to stop here. Looking at this, so this is what I have. So right now I will start sewing the band, and you have to sew 1/8 of an inch when you want to sew 1/8 of an inch, and still you have to arrange your gathers. You see that? And you keep arranging it and then keep going. Looking at it, this is the end of the fabric, and I have to still keep sewing these belts. So I'll keep sewing it. By the time I go ahead, can you see that? I keep sewing it all through. And this is what it looks like. So that's done. So easy. This is the back. Just tie this up the bow. Can you see this? So I'll just give it a good press and show you how it looks. This is the result of the crop top we just made. Can you see? It is so nice and very simple to make. You can rock it anyhow you like it. Make sure you follow me on Bilikis Signatures on Instagram. Our Facebook group is Sewing Innovation. Bye.